Hello, dear students. Good evening. Very happy evening to one and all. Uh, yes, I know it's been a long time. We have just, due to those festivals and all, we have just put the third sessions on hold. So from today onwards, it will happen on every Tuesday. And just wanted to confirm, am I audible to all of you? And I would request the students to type that in the chat box. Can you see the screen that I've shared? Is everything fine? I think Kishan, Dhanishka, there are students have already typed. So if everything is fine, I would request the students to just type that in the chat box so that we can start our session. Is the screen visible to all of you? Yes, okay, completely fine. Thank you. So yes, today we'll be discussing the questions of the chapter limits. I have picked 7 to 10 questions from this chapter, and all of them are like previous questions of JEE as well as AAA. So I would request all the students to be ready with your notebook and pen, and we'll be covering the questions one by one. So yes, we'll start with question number 1. And one more thing, if there is anything in between, if you have a confusion in one step or something, I would request all the students to type that in the chat box. Then only I'll be able to revisit. As it's live in the platform that you're viewing, it's difficult for me to give you speak permission. So if there are any queries, I would request you to type that in the chat box. So we'll start with question number 1. The limit of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, etc. n divided by n square when n tends to infinity is? A very simple question. A very simple question using the basics. We have studied the formula of the series 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, etc. up to n. You have a formula already here. You just substitute the formula, simplify it, and they have already given something like n tends to infinity. And the options here are 0, infinity, 1, 1 by 2. And we have to find the limit of this one. We have to find the limit of this term. Danishka, I hope you can hear us clearly. So those students have completed it. I would request you to type the answer in the chat box. The limit of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus etc. up to n when n tends to infinity is. Okay. So this is a very simple question, the very initial question. So here we'll start with this formula. We'll replace the series with the general formula that we know. The sum of the terms 1 plus 2 plus something etc. up to n is equal to n into n plus 1 by 2. This is the general formula that we all know. So if I'm substituting here as n into n plus 1 by 2 divided by n square is already here, how this term will change? This is n square by 2 plus n by 2 by n square. So I'll be able to rewrite this whole term. N square is gone. 1 n is gone. So I'll be able to rewrite this whole term as limit n tends to infinity 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2n. So n tends to infinity. This is gone. The value becomes 1 by 2. I hope this part is clear to all of you. This question is a very simple question showing the very basics. I need to identify the limit and they have given me the clue that n tends to infinity. So initially I can take limit n tends to infinity, this term. What is the limit of this term? I'll just substitute the formula of sum of the terms of up to n. And if I have substituted the formula, I have to just rearrange it and I have to substitute infinity. Then I'll be able to get the answer as 1 by 2. Is this question clear, children? Can we move forward? Danishka, I hope it's clear. And if there is anything, I would request you to type that in the chat box. So the option here is option D. The option for this question is option D. Yes, thank you. So we'll move to the next question. Yes. So today we'll be discussing everything from the chapter limits. Different types of questions, different methods that you have to follow in these questions. So the second question is, limit x tends to 0, sine inverse x minus tan inverse x by x cubed. You need to find limit x tends to 0, sine inverse x minus tan inverse x by x cubed. What is the value? The options are 2, 1, minus 1, 1 by 2. Here, if you're thinking, what is the value of sine inverse 0? Anyway, I'm going to substitute the limit. So it will be something like sine inverse 0 minus tan inverse 0 by 0 cube. So you have to remember the important part that you have studied, that is of the 0 by 0 form. If it is of the 0 by 0 form, you have to apply the L'Hospital rule. So just start trying, start doing the question. And I hope everybody studied the formula. What's the derivative of sine inverse x and what's the derivative of tan inverse x? Because we need to find the derivative and then we have to substitute the limit in case to solve this problem. Danishka, I hope you are able to see the screen because I think you have just asked whether it started or is there are people who are listening to us and already typing here their queries and all. I hope you can see the screen also. Yes, because this is of the form 0 by 0. Then you have to find the derivative and you have to apply the limit. Because in the case, you'll be able to find the derivative of the numerator and the derivative of the denominator separately. So this is something like for sine inverse x, you have one formula, tan inverse x, you have one formula, and x cube, it becomes 3x squared. Then you have to apply x tends to 0. The 0 value, you have to substitute it and you have to solve it. If still it comes in the form of 0 by 0, you will just find the derivative again and then you will solve it. You can find d by dx and then you can solve it. Okay, completely fine, no issue. I hope you can see the screen. And this is the new question that we are doing, Danishka. So I would request all the students here to respond and communicate with me. Then only I'll be able to provide more information in the way that you want. Okay. So yes, I think you have started solving this. Okay, completely fine. Okay. So for these type of problems, how we'll start is, we'll initially think, if I'm applying the limit directly, what is it tending to or what is happening? So if you're applying limit here, as we have already discussed, we know that it tends to the format 0 by 0. In these type of questions, the method that we use in solving is, we'll be differentiating them separately, the numerator and the denominator, and then we'll be substituting the limits according to the L'Hospital rule. So here, I hope you studied this formula. If not, I want all of you to note down this part. D by dx of sine inverse x is 1 by root of 1 minus x square, and d by dx of tan inverse x is 1 by 1 plus x square. So this is something that you have to have a basic understanding in order to solve this question. We have studied a lot of formulas in different chapters, and I know all of you are preparing for competitive examination. So if you have not started preparing something called a formula book, I would request all the students to start it. Because it's November and you have your board exams and everything, and after that you will be writing these entrance examination. So by that time, you will come across all the chapters. And if you have not started this, I would request you to start a formula book. And it should not be an expanded version, just crisp writing the formulas and how or which place you have to apply it. That's it. So just wanted to know, just curious, how many of you have already started doing that? How many of you have already, it's like if the chapter is trigonometry, you have a separate thing with all the very basic information that's needed for solving the problems of the chapter trigonometry. I think there is one person who said yes. Okay. So yes, we're just going to solve this. I'm just going to substitute d by dx of sine inverse x as 1 by root of 1 minus x square and d by dx of tan inverse x as 1 by 1 plus x square. So I have this here. Now what is d by dx of x cube? It is 3x square. Now what I have to do? I have to substitute the limit, that is x equal to 0. This becomes 1 by root of 1 minus 0 square minus 1 by 1 plus 0 square by 3 into 0 square. So here also it comes to the form 0 by 0. Here also this will be 1, this will be 1, it's minus 1. So it becomes 0 by 0 form. So here also what you have to do, you have to differentiate the numerator and the denominator separately. You have to simplify it. You have to apply the limit, the very basic thing. Now, I'll be able to write 1 by root of 1 minus x square as 1 minus x square whole raised to minus 1 by 2. I hope all of you will agree this. How many times you have to differentiate? It is completely based on what format or what type the question is. Sometimes it's just in one differentiation itself, you'll be able to substitute the limit, whether it's 1 or 0 or something, and you'll get the answer. In some cases, you have to do it twice or thrice. I think the maximum is like 3 times. Most of the problems are like 3 times. So here, I'll be able to write 1 by root of 1 minus x square as 1 minus x square whole raised to minus 1 by 2. Because there is the root and it's below. So it's minus 1 by 2. And here I'll be able to write 1 by 1 plus x square as 1 plus x square whole raised to minus 1. And 3x square becomes 3 is constant. So 2 into x raised to 1. So it becomes 6x. So this is done. Now I need to differentiate this term. X raised to n x raised to n minus 1. Here n is 1 minus x square and x is this term. So n x raised to n minus 1. So minus 1 by 2 into 1 minus x square whole raised to minus 1 by 2 minus 1. One term. Now the differentiation didn't end there. There is an x square term here. So it becomes minus 2x. So the first term is done. Now what about the second term? It becomes minus 1 into 1 plus x square whole raised to minus 1 into 2x. I hope this part is clear to you. It's a very simple portion. This differentiation part is clear to you. Now you have to just simplify it and apply the limit. X raised to n is n x raised to n minus 1. So minus 1 by 2 into 1 minus x square whole raised to minus 1 by 2 minus 1. Then there is x square, that to minus x square, there is minus 2x. Now this part, it is minus 1 into 1 plus x square whole raised to minus 1 minus 1. This is here. Here also there is an x square term. So here it becomes 2x. Denominator we already know, it is 6x. Now I would request the students to just simplify this. How you will be able to do that? Minus 1 by 2 into 1 minus x square whole raised to minus 3 by 2 into minus 2x plus 1 plus x square whole raised to minus 2 into 2x. Here also there is a 2 minus 2x. Here also there is a 2x. Here there is 6x. So if you want, you can just take the x term outside and you can simplify it. I'll just show you what I have done. Because I need to apply the limit. If the term is simplified, it will be easy for me to apply the limit. So this is what I have. If I'm taking the x outside, I'll be able to remove these two x. I have a 2 here. I have a 1 by 2 here. It's gone. So this becomes 1 minus x whole raised to minus 3 by 2 plus 2 into 1 plus x square whole raised to minus 2 divided by 6. Now try applying limit. 0. 1 minus 0 square whole raised to minus 3 by 2. Anyway, 1 raised to minus 3 by 2, it's 1 only. Plus 2 into 1 plus 0 square whole raised to minus 2. So here there is a 1 plus 2 option. 1 plus 2 by 6. This term will simplify to 1 and this term will simplify to this 2. So there is 1 plus 2 divided by 6, that is 3 by 6, and it's 1 by 2, that is option D. Whenever you come across these type of questions, you just have to think of this method, because this is the most common method that comes in almost all the examinations. And it's easy also. As I'm doing it in front of you only, I'm just writing each and every step, how the differentiation is happening and all. Initially, I'll just check this is of 0 by 0. I know what is sine inverse x, what is tan inverse x. I'll just substitute. I'll just simplify it. I'll just have this term. I'll just do everything mentally. So it's like all the mental calculations, and then I'll just substitute the value and I have the answer. So I'll just show this once again. And I would request the students to go through this question and tell me whether this is clear. Yes, answer is 1 by 2, Kishan. That's correct only. Very good. Okay, you've already asked a question. So yes, I'll just show this once again. And those students who are confused, who just want to know about this, you can type that in the chat box. Whether you want me to repeat the question, you can type that in the chat box. Or if you want me to repeat one step also, just inform. So just go through this. And after that, we'll move to the next question. Sorry. Here, the most important part is understanding these two formulas. I hope you all know this. If not, write it in your formula books. Okay, Danishka, completely fine. I would request other students also. Mahita, I hope everything is fine for you. Okay. Okay, completely fine. Dear children, if there is anything, please do respond. Please do put your queries in the chat box. Then only I'll be able to understand whether you have understood the question clearly. Are there any confusions? Okay. So yes, we'll move forward to the third question. This is an interesting question. Very simple one. Okay. Here its limit tends to pi by 4. So you need to know cos pi by 4, sin pi by 4 and all of that values. The question is limit x tends to pi by 4. 8 root 2. It is 8 root 2 minus cos x plus sin x whole raised to 7 divided by root 2 minus root 2 sin 2x. So there might be some formula for sin 2x or something that you can substitute and try. And what about cos x plus sin x all raised to 7? So initially, when you have this type of question, think of substituting the limit and finding out the value. How you will be able to do that? 8 root 2 minus cos pi by 4 plus sin pi by 4 whole raised to 7 divided by root 2 minus root 2 into sin 2 into pi by 4. That is sin. Okay, 2 into pi by 4. So it's pi by 2, sin pi by 2. So just think, substitute the values of cos pi by 4, sin pi by 4 and sin pi by 2 and find what is the value. If it comes to the term 0 by 0, you have to apply the L'Hospital rule. You have to differentiate the numerator differently. You have to apply differentiate the denominator separately. Then try to apply the limit. So yes, just start doing. And the options here are something like 14, 17 and also like root 14, sorry, 14 root 2 and 7 root 2. There is 14 root 2 and there is 7 root 2. Okay. So we'll just do this. It's a little bit of work for you, but I would request all of you to try that. Okay. So please start doing this of the same format I have mentioned, only you have to do this. So just start doing this and then tell us. Okay, Mahita. 8th root. Okay. Okay. 8 root 2. Just understand 8 multiplied by root 2. Something like 8 into the value of root. Very basically. Now, is it option C? 14 root 2. Okay, let's check whether it's option C. I got your answer. I can see it. I know there are students who are typing answers who are thinking about it, but I want all of you to just revisit the question. Maybe at some point you have just mistook one value. Something like that happens when you're solving a problem. So even if it's a competitive examination, I would request before clicking the option, just revisit quickly what you have done. I'm not saying the initial values, but the very basic logic and the substitutions, and then put the option. Because anyway, most of the competitive exams are going to have negative marks. So it's very important for you to revisit it before clicking the option. I know there are time constraints, but this is also important because we need to avoid the negative. So yes, I think we'll discuss this. Hold on. Okay. So I have written everything in detail step by step. So those students who are like little bit confused about the second question, the previous question, I would request all of you to be careful in understanding this question. And if you feel like, yeah, step 2, I'm having difficulty, just type that in the chat box. So we are going to start. This is what the question is. Limit x tends to pi by 4, 8 root 2 minus cos x plus sin x whole raised to 7 by root 2 minus root 2 sin 2x. I have pi by 4. I'm just going to substitute it directly. Cos pi by 4, sin pi by 4. I know the value is 1 by root 2. Now here, I have sin pi by 2, that is 1. I have all those values. So it becomes, I have written it here clearly. Okay. Yeah. 8 root 2 minus 1 by root 2 plus 1 by root 2 whole raised to 7 divided by this, it's already applied, root 2 minus root 2 into sine 2 pi by 2. This becomes 1. So 8 root 2 minus, this is 1 plus 1 by root 2 whole raised to 7, 2 by root 2. 2 by root 2, it is already 2 raised to 7, so it becomes 8 root 2. Now root 2 minus root 2, it is also 0. So we understood that this is somehow of the form 0 by 0. So understanding this logic at the initial point of the question is really important. So if you have it in the form 0 by 0, then you have to start differentiating, applying the L'Hospital rule. So here, okay, we'll start differentiation. This is what I know. When it comes to differentiating the numerator, 8 root 2, it's constant, that's okay. Here, this also I'll be able to take off the form x raised to n x raised to n minus 1. So there is already minus. So 7 into, negative 7 into cos x plus sin x whole raised to 6 into, what is cos x? Cos x equal to minus sin x and sin x is equal to cos x. So minus sin x plus cos x. Numerator, it's done. Now what about denominator? Root 2, it's 0. There is a minus, that's always there. Root 2, it's constant. Sin 2x is cos 2x into 2. So you have cos 2x into 2. Now you can simplify it. It's of the form 7 cos x plus sin x whole raised to 6 into minus sin x plus cos x by root 2 cos 2x into 2. Now what we'll do, we have it in a simplified form. I'm going to apply L'Hospital rule again. I'm just looking at the chat box once more. Okay, there is somebody who is saying, yeah, it is option 1. Okay, I think you have rechecked. We'll just look at it again. So I'm just going to substitute pi by 4. Cos pi by 4, sin pi by 4. I know the value. Minus sin pi by 4, cos pi by 4. Divided by root 2 cos 2 into pi by 4 into 2. This becomes cos pi by 2. I know all these values. Cos pi by 2, it's 0. Sin pi by 4 and cos pi by 4. Whole raised to 6. So minus sin pi by 4, minus 1 by root 2, cos pi by 4, 1 by root 2. This term is completely gone. It's multiplied by 0. Now, cos pi by 2 is 0. This term is also completely gone. It's multiplied by 0. Still, we are in the same way, that is 0 by 0 form. Now, what I have to do? You have to differentiate this term again. That's why I've told initially, I'm saying some questions will end up in 2, but initially, most of the questions are like 3 times. So then you'll get the answer for the sure. So I'm just going to differentiate it for the 3rd time. So here, this is what I have. I want you to look at it. This is what I have. Limit x tends to pi by 4. 7 cos x plus sin x raised to 6 minus sin x plus cos x divided by root 2 cos 2x into 2. Now, you can take u, v or first term, second term and you can expand it. So it will be like 7. It's always constant. I've just taken it there. If this is the first term, it will be cos x plus sin x raised to 6. Sin x is cos x. So it will be minus cos x. Cos x is minus sin x plus minus sin x cos x into 7 into 7, it's already here. 6 into cos x plus sin x all raised to 6 minus 1. That is 5. Then cos x is minus sin x is cos x. Divided by root 2 and 2, just leave it. Cos x is minus sin 2x into 2. So it becomes 2 root 2. I've already taken this sin 2x into 2. Now you need to simplify this whole thing with pi by 2. If you're applying pi by 2 here, minus sin pi by 2 plus cos pi by 2, 1 by root 2 minus 1 by root 2, this thing is gone. This complete term, even if you have expanded it, this complete term becomes 0. So it's easy for you to apply. Now, if you're applying this limit here, 7 cos pi by 2 plus sin pi by 2 whole raised to 6 minus cos pi by 4 minus sin pi by 4 divided by this term. I hope up to this it's clear to all of you. If there are any queries in between, I would request you to type that in the chat box. I know it's a little bit extra in solving this question. It's a lot of expansions and everything when it comes to the differentiation. So this is what we have. I'm going to apply pi by 4 and I'm going to substitute the values. Cos pi by 4, 1 by root 2, sin pi by 4, 1 by root 2. So I got 2 by root 2 whole raised to 6. Here it's minus 1 by root 2, minus 1 by root 2. Here also I got minus 2 by root 2. Then sin pi by 2, that is 1 into 2. So you just have to solve this. It's 2 by root 2. Here also it's going to be 2 by root 2. If you're solving it, it is 14. I think somebody who has given the answer as option C. Yeah, it's option 1. And I hope this is clear to all of you. I know it's a little bit of expansion and substitution. This becomes 2 by root 2. This becomes also minus 2 by root 2. That's the initial thing. If it's 2 by root 2, you'll be able to write this as, there is always a 6 here, root 2 raised to 6. The same thing applies here, minus 2 by root 2 also, you'll be able to write this as minus root 2. So you have 7 into root 2 raised to 6, that is 8. 7 into 8 into minus 2 minus root 2 by minus 4 root 2. 4 and 8, it cancels and this root 2 also cancels. So it's 2 into 7, that is 14. I know there are students who got the answer. If there are any that also is okay. That is also an option, but I want you to understand the very basic method that you have to follow in solving this question. So yes, I'll show the answer. I think Mahita and Dhanishka and all the other children just wanted to know whether this question is clear to all of you. And if there are any queries, I would request you to type that in the chat box. I'll just show the answer once again. And if there is anything, please tell us. Kishan, next Tuesday we'll join and I'll just do it this way and I'll show you also. Okay. So initially I understood it 0 by 0 form. I have differentiated this thing. Then I have tried it. It comes to 0 by 0 form. Then I have differentiated it. I have applied the limits. You have to be careful with each and every value. Even the sign is something that is very, very important. Okay. All the other children who are listening to me, I can't see all of your names, but just wanted a confirmation. Are we good to go? Can we move to the next question? Is everything fine? Okay, completely fine. So we'll just move to the next question. This is also a very simple question. I've taken mostly of this form of questions today. Limit x tends to 0. Cos of sin x minus cos x by x raised to 4. Think how you will solve this question. Limit x tends to 0. Cos of sin x minus cos x by x raised to 4. The options are 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 6, 1 by 3. How you will solve this question? Cos of sin x. If there is any idea in your mind, I would request you to type that in the chat box. I think at least some of you have come across these type of problems. Uh, Makan sir,
Yes, please.
I have made a small request in the chat box. If possible, can you do that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, limit x tends to 0, cos of sin x minus cos x. Think of what formula you can apply here so that you'll be able to simplify this thing. Think of what formula you can apply here so that you'll be able to simplify it. You have studied a lot of formulas related to this, right? Here it is cos of sin x, here it is cos x. You can simply use cos A minus B formula, cos A minus B by x raised to 4. You'll be able to expand it and then you can substitute the limit. Very simple question. Even here, the formula comes different. Sine of something, tan of something, because we have studied the formulas of each and every one of them. Those type of question repeats. Yes, cos A minus cos B, yes. So please try and apply those formulas. So how will you apply the formula cos A minus cos B? What is the formula? Think of the formula that we have studied. Anyone you can use. Minus 2 sine of A plus B into sine of A minus B. That also you can use. Any one formula you use, try to expand it and then substitute it. Yes, Mahita, you have to substitute the formula. Yes. Minus 2 sine. Okay. Any formula. This is the formula that I have taken. So here, just look at this. Cos A minus B. A becomes sin x and B becomes x. So 2 sine of sin x plus x by 2 into sine of x minus sin x by 2 divided by x raised to 4. So you have expanded it. Now you have everything in terms of sign. Look at the question. You have everything in terms of sign and you have simplified it also. Otherwise, it's very difficult for me. How I'll be able to write this as cos of sine 0? Cos of sine 0, how I'll be able to solve it? The only way that you can do here is expanding it so that you'll be able to solve it. Okay, there is someone who has asked, is the answer 1 by 6? Let's check. But before that, I would request you to revisit the question. That is something that's very, very important. Revisit the way in which you have answered the question. That is very, very important. It's just for a confirmation. So yes, I have expanded it. Now we'll just quickly see how we have to solve this question. Yes. I hope you remember this formula, the very beautiful formula that is going to control this whole question. Limit x tends to 0, sin x by x is equal to 1. Limit x tends to 0, sin x by x is equal to 1. If you look at what we have expanded, it's clear that you'll be able to solve this problem easily. Okay, just look at this. It's sine of sine x, sine of something by x raised to 4, sine of something by this one. So if I have something like limit x tends to 0, sine x by x, I'll be able to replace it with 1. So I'm just going to, if I want to add and multiply, I'll be able to do it in a one go. So it will be like limit x tends to 0, 2 sine of sine x plus x by 2. That is the first term, divided by sine x plus x by 2. Then only it becomes sine x by x. But if I'm dividing, I have to multiply this also. So it becomes sine x plus x by 2. Same applies here. Sine x minus sine of x minus sine x by 2. Here also I have x minus sine x by 2. I have to multiply x minus sine x by 2. There is 1 by x raised to 4 also. So I have taken. This is gone. This is gone. I have simplified it to just two terms. Sine x plus x by 2 into x minus sine x by 2 into, oh, I'm sorry, this 2 and this 2, it's gone. So it will be something like sine x plus x into x minus sine x by 2 into 1 by x square. Is this clear? Just wanted to know whether up to this portion it's clear or not. Can we move forward? I have just expanded it, I have simplified it, and I have got this term. Now it's easy for me to solve this question. Very easy for me to solve this question. Okay. So what I've done is, how I have continued is, I got this. Now if I'm taking sine x plus x by x, this will be something like x minus sine x by 2x cube. Or maybe you can take 1 by x cube outside also. If this is the term, x by x becomes 1, sine x by x becomes 1. So this whole term is 2. Now you have to just apply limit here. Limit x tends to 0 to x minus sine x by 2x. If you remember the formula of sin x in this way, then it's very easy so that you can cancel these two. There is already a 2x cube in the denominator and you can apply this formula here. If you're applying this formula, that is sin x equal to x minus x cube by 3 factorial plus x raised to 5 by 5 factorial minus x raised to 7 by 7 factorial. So here you will be cancel out this x term. You will be able to do that. And this becomes x cube by 3 factorial minus x raised to 5 by 5 factorial because there is a minus term over here plus x raised to 7 by 7 factorial divided by x cube because this term is already 2 and here this 2 also gets cancelled, this 2 and 2. Now we have just simplified this equation. I know this x cube becomes x cube by 1. So I'll be able to write this as 1 by x cube into this term. So this becomes 1 by 3 factorial minus x square by 5 factorial plus x raised to 5 by something, etc. But if I'm substituting x, this term is gone, this term is gone. It's 1 by 3 factorial. That is 1 by 6 is the correct answer for this question. Very simple question. But the only thing is you have to understand the logic that you have to apply in order to solve this question. A very, very simple question. The very basic logic is important in order to solve this question. So is this question clear? Danishka, your answer is correct. Now, you might think or you might ask how I'll be able to understand. I have to use the formula cos A minus cos B. And maybe some students will ask me how I'll be able to understand. The question ends here. Limit x tends to 0. 2 into this 2 gets cancelled. X minus sin x by x cube. How I'll be able to understand what I'll initially do? X becomes 0. This is sine 0. Then x cube is 0. You have to repeat it. So initially what you can think is there is a 2x cube here. So how you will be able to simplify it so that you'll get the answer easily. And what I want to mention is this logic will not come in just 1 day or 2 days or something. It comes only through experience. How much ever problems you're solving, how much you're investing the time in solving different types of questions. After a certain point of time, when you see the question, you'll understand, yeah, this is how I have to approach this question. This is what I have to substitute in this question. So solving questions is really important. I'm not saying you have to invest time daily. If you're investing it, it's completely good. It's completely fine. But I'm asking you to invest at least some hours during the weekends. I know it's an entrance exam preparation and all. So if you're able to do it at least during the weekends, that's good. Okay, there is someone who has typed, okay. So which step are you confused? That is what I want to understand. So dear children, I'll just show this question and I would request all of you to just go through this. And for the next sessions, I'll give you an idea which topic we'll be discussing. And I would request all the students to just go through the formula names before coming to the next class. Kishan, which part you are having confusion? The initial part, I hope you know, cos A minus cos B, you have to apply the formula. And this might be a new formula to at least some students. This might be a new formula to at least some students. Okay. Okay. Okay, understood. Just hold on. So here, this logic, I hope you know. So it becomes, this term is gone, this term is gone, and this too, it's gone. The limit extends to 0, sin x plus x into x minus sin x by 2 into 1 plus 1 by x square. Okay, this, I hope it's okay. Now here, if I'm splitting this x as x cube with this term and x as this here, so sin x by x and this x by x, it becomes 1. So there is a 2 here. And the other remaining term becomes x minus sin x by 2x cube. I hope that's clear. Please do understand this part. Sin x by x plus x by x. So limit x tends to 0, sin x by x, it's okay. Here it's a constant term. So here it's 1, here it's 1, it becomes 2. So this whole thing changes to 2 into x minus sin 2x by 2x cube. So this 2 also gone, this 2 also gone. So this question or this part gets completely simplified into x minus sin x, this 2 also is gone, x minus sin x by x cube. Now you have to think how I'll be able to solve it. You can do it, 0 minus sin 0 by 0 cube, it's gone. Now I have to differentiate it again, I have to substitute it again. It goes as a loop. So in order to solve it, the only clue that you can take is of the x cube that's here. If you're getting an expansion, so it's easy to cut these terms out here and you can get the solution. So this is how you have to look at this question. Gaurav, I think you are here. If there are any queries, I would request you to type that in the chat box. And Pranish also, if there are any queries, can you please type that in the chat box? Okay, Kishant, I hope it's clear to all of you. Are there any students who want me to repeat this or can we move forward? Okay, completely fine. I hope it's clear to you. We'll move. Okay. This is another question. One more thing I want all of you to think, all of you to understand is, now questions have started coming in combinations. I know you have this concept already with you. We have questions with integration, trigonometry, and all of that combinations. So those type of combination questions start coming. It's like the frequency has increased when it comes to the entrance examination. So I want you to understand that also, how I can, how you will be able to understand the concept, how you will be able to map each and everything that's given in different chapters. That is also important. So yes, we'll move to the next question. Given that f of x is equal to, it's a matrix, 3 by 3, cos x, x1, 2 sin x, x square, 2x, tan x, x1. Then limit x tends to 0, f dash of x by x is. Limit x tends to 0, f dash of x by x is. We need to find out whether it exists. That is one question. And what value it is equal to, whether it is equal to 0, 1, 2, or minus 2. What is the value that it is equal to? That's what you have to find out. So initially, what I'll suggest is you can just solve this matrix and you'll get an equation form. Then you can find the f dash of x. It's easy. If you have it in the matrix form, it's difficult for you to solve. So solve the matrix, form the equation, find the derivative, then it's easy. Limit x tends to 0, f dash of x by x, whether it's exists or not. Ritvik, Vikas, if you're having any queries, I would request you to type that in the chat box. Okay, I think Kishan, that's clear for you. Pranesh or anyone here, Nitin, Rutushri, Kishant, Gokul, Mahita, Gaurav, Daniksha. If you're having any queries, I would request you to type that in the chat box. Then only I'll be able to repeat the question. So I hope we can solve this. Okay. So this is what I have initially. This is what is given. And I have to find out f dash of x by x. There is a limit also given. Limit x tends to 0. So you can solve it by any row or column substitution or anything. I've just done it regularly. Cos x into x square minus 2x square minus x into 2 sin x minus 2x tan x plus 1 into 2 sin x into x minus x square into tan x. So this becomes cos x square minus cos x into 2x square minus x into, it will be like 2 sin x minus 2 into x square into tan x plus 2 sin x, 2x sin x minus x square tan x. So here some terms will get cancelled. This is a positive x, 2x sin x, and this is minus 2x sin x, so it's gone. Now this is 2x square tan x and this is x square tan x. So there is only one x square tan x that's going to be there, and that too positive x square tan x. So here this complete term gets reduced to, see this here also 2x square, here it's x square. So we'll subtract 1 and we'll have minus x square cos x plus x square tan x. X square is common, so I'll take the x square outside and I have tan x minus cos x. So I got my f of x. I got my value of the function f of x. F of x becomes x square into tan x minus cos x. Now we have to find the derivative. So x square becomes 2x, tan x minus cos x. Now what about tan x? Tan x is sec square x and cos x is sin x. Minus sin x, so it becomes positive. So you can take the UV form and you can differentiate it. If you have differentiated it, the question is limit x tends to 0. We can't stop here because the question is asking me to find out limit x tends to 0, f dash of x by x. So I'm just finding f dash of x by x. So I can take one x common from here and I'll be able to clear that x out because it's common in both the terms. So here I have taken this x. So this complete term gets reduced to 2 into tan x minus cos x plus x into sec square x plus sin x. Now limit x tends to 0. What is tan 0? What is cos 0? What is sec 0? What is sin 0? This term is gone. Cos 0, it's 1. This term is completely gone because there's an x here and we are substituting x as 0. So this term is completely gone. Tan x becomes 0. Tan 0 becomes 0 and 2 into minus 1. That becomes minus 2. So we can say that as we got the value as minus 2, we can say that the limit exists and the value is equal to minus 2. So here the option for the question is option B. I hope this question is clear to all of you. I'll just show you this once again. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got out of. Okay. Yes, Mahima, that's the correct answer. It's minus 2 and it exists. So yes, I would request the students to just go through this question once again. And if there are any queries in between, I would request you to type that in the chat box. Ritvik, is this question clear? And also, Ishita, is this question clear to all of you? Pranish, Gaurav, Mahita, Gokul, Kishant. There are more students. I can't read all the names. But still, if you have any queries, I would request you to type that in the chat box. So the correct answer for this question is minus 2. Now we have covered very less number of questions. I want all of you to give me an idea on whether all of them are clear. Do you want me to repeat any of these questions specifically? If so, I'll do that. If you want me to repeat any of these questions that we have discussed specifically, because I've been slow, because I want all of you to understand it very clearly. The logic, everything, the substitution, everything. That is the reason I have written everything in detail step by step. You can give me a clue. Even if you don't remember the question number, I would request something like you can give me a clue, something related to the sign term, something like that. Or I'll show you all the questions that we have discussed. Just a quick brush up. The limit of this term when n tends to infinity. And one more request to all the students. I would request you to keep this book here aside, and we'll just take the book next Tuesday and we'll just solve some problems. So consider this as a revision class that's going to help you have a proper understanding how much you know about the random questions that I'm coming up with. So yes, this is the first question. Here I have substituted the formula for 1 to n terms. I have applied the limit. I have solved it. It was a very simple question. Now, the second one was of sine inverse x and tan inverse x, where what I want is, it is completely fine, Kishan. That's the last question and we'll end it. And before, the second question is like sine inverse x and tan inverse x. You know the formulas of both of them. Substitute it, substitute the limit, and if it's of 0 by 0 form, differentiate it and solve it. That is the important part. Then the third thing here in this question, you have to understand the concept that is very, very important. Differentiating, substituting the limit. If it's of 0 by 0 form, repeating it and solving it. In this question, you have to understand how you have to solve the problem because it's of cos of sin x minus cos x by x raised to 4. So cos A minus cos B, cos C minus cos B, you have to apply the formula. Here also, we have used one more important point, that is limit x tends to 0, sin x by x equal to 1. This formula also all of you have to remember in order to solve the question. Then the final question related to this determinants. So I hope you've got an idea about all of them. If there are any queries or anything, you can just type that in the chat box. And I hope the session was useful. If there is anything that you want to convey, I would request you to type that in the chat box. And I have something more to share to all of you. So kindly hold on for a minute. Let me share the screen. Yes. I would request all the students here to visit the page amrita.edu/practice test. I know all of you have registered for the some search sessions and you are attending it. I would like to introduce a platform which is called, which is here, which is a practice test platform. Here you can see engineering. If there are friends of yours who are preparing for medical also, you can refer this platform. So this is a platform where you could get the previous minimum 20 years of question papers of past JEE as well as AAA. And there are a lot of live tests and everything that's running here. So I would request the students to just explore this platform. There is no need for you to refer to different question papers from different platforms, just a platform where you can get all these question papers, and there are live tests also that is running. And people from different parts will be, I'll just log in and show you. People from different parts will be taking this test. There is a scheduled test on every Sunday evening 4 to 5 p.m. The medical practice test happens on Saturday and you'll have the same platform. So please explore this platform because this is going to help you as you're preparing for different competitive examinations this year. Even you can refer this to your biology friends. And one more thing, you'll get the assessment reports also, how many students have attended it and what's your rank. If there are 5,000 students attending the session on this Sunday, what's your rank among the top, the all India 5,000 students? Those type of things are there and even the solutions are there. So I would request all of you to just visit this platform and understand what is there. And thank you so much, everyone. I hope the session was useful. If there is anything that you want to convey, I would request you to type that in the chat box. Anything that you want to convey. I'm just looking at the chat box only. So if there is anything that you want to share, you can share that. Yes, there is a test that's going to be on this Sunday itself. We'll continue it till your competitive exams are over. Sunday, the live test happens from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. And there are a lot of tests that are free, something like untimed test. Even time tests are also there, even subject-wise test of mathematics, physics, chemistry. You can select the chapter, take the test, that is also available. So thank you so much, dear children. And if there is anything that you want to share, any feedback, or if you want me to add anything extra, the theory or something related to each chapter or each problem that we are discussing, I would request you to type that in the chat box. And thank you so much, everyone. Have a very good evening, and please prepare, be strong, always have that motivation factor in you. And see you all on next week. And thank you so much. Have a good evening. Thank you, everybody. Hello, sir. Can we end the webinar?